Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and today we're talking November releases. If you are new to my channel, you might not know, but this is a monthly installment on my channel where I tell you all of the releases coming out the following month, and then you vote in the comments or on Twitter and let me know which one should I read and then review for you guys. So that's the concept basically. Today we're talking about November releases. Many exciting ones. I would say October was really good, but like November is good too. So we've got 8 books to go through. We're going order of publication, and yeah, just keep an eye out. If something sounds good, let me know and I'll read it and review. So the first book is a little bit of an unusual one for me. It's a YA contemporary romance. I don't know if you guys know or you're new, but that's not something I read much of, but this book just really spoke to me, so I wanted to mention it. So it's You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. So this one's coming out on November 2nd, and like I said, it's a YA contemporary romance, and it sounds so heartbreaking. I will probably just cry if I read it, and that's why I don't want to read it, but I want to read it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want the pain, but I feel like the pain would just hurt so good. But this is the synopsis. 17-year-old Julie has her future all planned out. Move out of her small town with her boyfriend Sam, attend college in a city, spend a summer in Japan. But then Sam dies, and everything changes. Heartbroken, Julie skips his funeral, throws out his things, and tries everything to forget him and the tragic way he died. But a message Sam left behind in her yearbook forces back memories. Desperate to hear his voice one more time, Julie calls Sam's cell phone, just to listen to his voicemail. And Sam picks up the phone. In the miraculous turn of events, Julie's been given a second chance at goodbye. The connection is temporary, but hearing Sam's voice makes her fall for him all over again, and with each call it becomes harder to let him go. However, keeping her otherworldly calls with Sam a secret isn't easy, especially when Julie witnesses the suffering Sam's family is going through. Unable to stand by the sidelines and watch their shared loved ones in pain, Julie is torn between spilling the truth about her calls with Sam and risking their connection and losing him forever. I can't even imagine, like, this is too sad, but like beautiful, but like sad. And the cover is really beautiful as well and just looks so heartbreaking. Oh my god, why am I emotional? It's a synopsis. So book number 2 is Gilded by Marissa Meyer. So this one's coming out on November 2nd, and it's a YA fantasy. And Marissa Meyer wrote a lot of books like the Lunar Chronicles, the Renegade series, and I think this is her newest one. I think this is some kind of retelling of King Midas' story, where, you know, the Midas is the one from Greek mythology whose touch turns things into gold. So this is the actual synopsis. Long ago, cursed by the god of lies, a poor miller's daughter has developed a talent for spinning stories that are fantastical and spellbinding and entirely untrue. Or so everyone believes. When one of Serilda's outlandish tales draws the attention of the sinister Erkling and his undead hunters, she finds herself swept away into a grim world where ghouls and phantoms prowl the earth and hollow-eyed ravens track her every move. The king orders Serilda to complete the impossible task of spinning straw into gold, or be killed for telling falsehoods. In her desperation, Serilda unwittingly summons a mysterious boy to her aid. He agrees to help her for a price. Love isn't meant to be part of the bargain. Soon Serilda realizes that there is more than one secret hidden in the castle walls, including an ancient curse that must be broken if she hopes to end the tyranny of the king and his wild hunt forever. Okay, so that sounds not like Midas retelling at all, and I think I was wrong. This sounds more like, is it the Rumpelstiltskin, right? Where she spins gold, and then he comes and is like, I'm gonna take your child. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever, I won't have one then. And then she does. I think I was wrong yet. It's probably that retelling. Maybe I'm mistaking it for something else. Then book number 3 is Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross, and it's coming out on September 2nd as well. And it's a YA fantasy. So this one, I wasn't sure because it didn't sound that exciting, but like the blurb said, perfect for the readers of Hazelwood and Night Circus. I really enjoyed the vibe of the Hazelwood, so if it has a similar vibe, maybe I will like this as well. So this is the synopsis. A curse plagues the realm of Azanor. During each new moon, magic flows from the nearby mountain and brings nightmares to life. Only magicians, who serve as territory wardens, stand between people and their worst dreams. Clementine, Madigan, is ready to take over as the warden of her small town, but when two magicians challenge her, she is unwittingly drawn into a century-old conflict. She seeks revenge, but as she secretly gets closer to Phelan, one of the handsome young magicians, secrets begin to rise. Clementine must unite with her rival to fight the realm's curse, which seems to be haunting her every turn. So yeah, I don't know, it sounds interesting. I can see the Night Circus vibes because it's the magicians doing a contest. I've not read Night Circus, so I can't tell if that's my vibe. But I'm interested because I really like the atmospheric nature of Hazelwood. So I really am looking for a lot of books with that kind of vibe. So if you know any, let me know. I'm hoping the vibe is what's similar. Oh my goodness, this one I'm so excited about, and I think that's gonna be the one that I'm gonna be like, I'm reading this no matter what, and then you guys, well, I already pre-ordered it, and then you guys can vote for a second book I'll review, because I'm so excited. So this book is All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Lynn Herman. So it's coming out on November 9th, and it's a YA fantasy with LGBTQ+ characters. So I don't think I've read anything with Lynn Herman, although her name sounds really familiar. But Amanda Foody is one of my all-time favorite authors, and I did only read one series from her, but in my defense, she only has that one series and then one standalone. And she's the author of Ace of Shades. If you've been on this channel like at all, ever, before, you know that I recommend this book like a crazy person. I love the whole series, writing exquisite, storytelling exquisite, characters exquisite. So this is her newest book, and it's like a dual project where it's a partnership, so it's co-authored, and I am very excited. I already pre-ordered it last night because I was like, oh my god, it's already coming out in November, and I really wanted the cool cover with like the red person doing this, because the UK cover, barf, what the hell is that? So Book Depository better deliver the right cover or I am rioting, because there were two options and I chose the right one. So I don't know, I'm a bit scared. I was gonna order the paperback because the other ones I have are paperback, but there was no cover preview and I was too scared they gave me the ugliest cover, so I decided to just stick to the hardback. And this better not be this whole shortage thing, because I need this book in my hands, okay? Let me tell you what this book is even about. After the publication of a salacious tell-all book, the remote city of Ilvernath is thrust into worldwide spotlight. Tourists, protesters, and reporters flock to its spell shops and ruins to witness an ancient curse unfold. Every generation, 7 families name a champion among them to compete in a tournament to the death. The winner awards their family exclusive control over the city's high magic supply, the most powerful resource in the world. In the past, the villainous Loas have won nearly every tournament, and their champion is prepared to continue the family's reign. But this year, thanks to the influence of their newfound notoriety, each of the champions has a means to win. Or better yet, a chance to rewrite the story. But this is a story that must be penned in blood. So it's all about villains, all about evil people. I don't care. If this was a recipe how to make bread, I'd still read it. If this was a recipe how to watch paint dry, I'd still read it. That's how much I love Amanda Foody. So I trust her. I'm not too crazy about the premise. Like, it reminds me of Lore, which was like about Greek gods fighting every couple of years for like power, which I don't really care about, but like I believe in this offer. And also like Ace of Shades had so many like gangs and gang fights, and somehow still had me hooked every second of the story, so I'm not really worried. I think I love it no matter what. But again, it could be like how to hang your curtains, which is something I need to do anyway, but I'd read it. So next book is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. So this one's coming out on November 9th and it's a YA fantasy. And I am so bloody excited about it because I think it's a self-published book, but it's about mermaids. And if you know me, you know I've been trying to find a good mermaid book for like a year now and I keep failing because they're all shite. So I really hope this one is good because I do have extremely high expectations. How to set yourself up for failure. Have unrealistic, extremely high, for no reason whatsoever, expectations and then let the book do its work. But sometimes books deliver and I'm hoping this one will as well. So the book is inspired by West African mythology and it's Children of Blood and Bone meets The Little Mermaid. I'm excited. So this is the synopsis. Simi prayed to the gods once. Now she serves them as Mami Vata, a mermaid collecting the souls of those who die at sea and blessing their journeys back home. But when a living boy is thrown overboard, Simi does the unthinkable. She saves his life, going against an ancient decree. And punishment awaits those who dare to defy it. To protect the other Mami Vata, Simi must journey to the Supreme Creator to make amends. But something is amiss. There's the boy she rescued who knows more than he should, and something is shadowing Simi, something that would rather see her fail. Danger lurks at every turn, and as Simi draws closer, she must brave vengeful gods, treacherous lands, and legendary creatures. Because if she doesn't, then she risks not only the fate of all Mami Vata, but also the world as she knows it. Sounds brilliant. So excited. Mermaids. It better be done well. The level of excitement is totally appropriate. Thank you very much. So the next book is Year of the Reaper by Makiia Lucier. So it's coming out on November 9th and it's a YA fantasy. And like, I read the synopsis and I was like, I'm not bothered. But I saw the cover and I was bothered. So it was like, let me add it and see what people think. I mean, it just sounds very like typical high fantasy, but at the same time, you never know. Like, so does Malice, and then it's like the best book ever. So maybe this is also the best book ever. I don't know, but I really like the cover. So this one, the synopsis is: before an ambush by enemy soldiers, Lord Cassia was an engineer's apprentice on a mission entrusted by the king. But when plague sweeps over the land, leaving countless dead and devastating the kingdom, even Cass's title cannot save him from a rotting prison cell and merciless sickness. 3 years later, Cass wants only to return to his home in the mountains and forget past horrors. But home is not what he remembers. His castle has become a refuge for the royal court, and they have brought their enemies with them. When an assassin targets those closest to the queen, Cass is drawn into search for a killer, one that leads him to form an expectant bond with a brilliant young historian named Lena. Cass and Lena soon realize that who is behind attacks is far less important than why. They must look to the past following the trail of a terrible secret, one that could threaten the kingdom's newfound peace and plunge it back into war. Something I like is that it talks about the history and they're gonna see what happened in the past, and I don't know why, but I'm a sucker for it. There could be a story unfolding right now and the same story could be told but oh, this is what happened in the past, and I just prefer it finding out what happened in the past. I don't know, I find it super exciting. So maybe this book does have some promise, and I think it's by East Asian author as well, which is really, really cool. So the penultimate book is A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcie Badger. It's coming out on November 9th, and it's a YA magical realism with LGBTQ plus characters. And I might have talked about this book in a different video, but I don't think I did, because it had a release date, then it was pushed, and now I don't even know if this is the final one. Sometimes I make these videos only to find out that either it was pushed, changed, or UK has its own release date, which I didn't realize. You just take it with a grain of salt. But this one's really, really exciting because it's by a Native American author, which is super cool. And I found out about this from Kayla from Books and Lala because she included it in a video and it sounded really cool. And the cover is really cool as well. So this is what it's about. Nina is a Lipan girl in our world. She's always felt there was something more out there. She still believes in old stories. Ollie is a cottonmouth kid from the land of spirits and monsters. Like all cottonmouths, he's been cast from home. He's found a new one on the banks of the bottomless lake. Nina and Ollie have no idea the other exists, but a catastrophic event on Earth and a strange sickness that befalls Ollie's friend will drive their worlds together in a way they haven't been in centuries. And there are also some who will kill to keep them apart. Darcie Little Badger introduces herself to the world of Elatsoe. In A Snake Falls to Earth, she draws on traditional Lipan Apache storytelling structure to weave another unforgettable tale of monsters, magic, and family. It is not to be missed. It is not to be missed indeed. And the next one is an exciting one. So I don't usually include sequels in this, but like the first book in this duology was a really important book to me because I filmed my first, was it my first? No, it was my second ever dedicated review, and that video performed so well, and it was definitely a lot of the growth on my channel can be attributed to this book. So I just feel such like nostalgia towards it, and also it was a really, really good book. I really enjoyed it. But I am super excited for the sequel. So, and also like I feel like it deserves a spot here because come on, like it made this series. If that video didn't perform as well as it did, I don't know if I keep going because some of them do really badly, but some of them do really well. So, and the book I'm talking about is Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. So the first book is Our Violent Delights, and this one's coming out on November 16th, and it's a YA historical fantasy. So the first book was Our Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and it is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet set in 1920s Hong Kong. We follow Roma and Juliet, and Juliet is from an Hong Kong gang, and then Roma is from a Russian gang, and they knew each other when they were kids and then fell apart and ended up being enemies. So it's enemies to lover, like I said, retelling of the Romeo and Juliet. And in the first book, like the overarching plot is that there are deaths happening in Hong Kong, and they're very weird, very mysterious, so we're trying to find out what happened. So if you don't want to know what Our Violent Ends is about, so the synopsis spoils the first book, so if you've not read the first book, maybe thank you so much for watching and you should probably go, or you can just skip. I'm gonna timestamp everything anyway. But this is what the second book is about. The year is 1927, and Shanghai teeters on the edge of revolution. After sacrificing her relationship with Roma to protect him from the blood feud, Juliet has been a girl on the warpath. One wrong move and her cousin will step in to usurp her place as the Scarlet Gang's heir. The only way to save the boy she loves from the wrath of the Scarlets is to have him want her dead for murdering his best friend in cold blood. If Juliet were actually guilty of the crime Roma believes she committed, his rejection might sting less. Roma is still reeling from Marshall's death, and his cousin Benedict will barely speak to him. Roma knows it's his fault for letting the ruthless Juliet back into his life, and he's determined to set things right, even if that means killing the girl he hates and loves with equal measure. Then a new monstrous danger emerges in the city, and tough secrets keep them apart. Juliet must secure Roma's cooperation if they are to end this threat once and for all. Shanghai is already at a boiling point. The nationalists are marching in. Whispers of civil war brew louder every day, and a gangster rule faces complete annihilation. Roma and Juliet must put aside their differences to combat monsters and politics, but they aren't prepared for the biggest threat of all, protecting their hearts from each other. Okay, well, I'm so excited and my camera's saying it's too hot, so I think I'm gonna say this is the end of the video. But please let me know in the comments, let me know on Twitter, which book should I read and review. I am thinking All of Us Villains and maybe This Violent Ends. But if you disagree, let me know via the poll or the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you could like and comment and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps me out. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!